Okay, so if we're going to be the church, we've got to love God, love people, and make disciples. Great. Now let's ponder a little bit about that, doing those three things in our normal church life. For many of us who do church, with church buildings, can those three things be done in a church building? Well, sure they can. You can love God, you can love people, and you can make disciples in a church building. But are we limited to a church building? Of course not. Loving God encompasses every moment of every day wherever we are. Loving people, we have to do that wherever we interact with people. And making disciples, Jesus himself said, go into all the world and make disciples. So it's almost like Jesus is saying, ding, you are now free to move about the country. You know, making disciples can be done in the context of normal everyday life. But let's think about the next natural question is, if we're going to have to make disciples, what exactly is a disciple? So let's take a look at that right now.
Welcome to Be the Church. I'm Bill Burrows. In this blog, we equip and train together to be the church instead of just going to church. Now, before we look at being a friend of Jesus today, let's review what God is asking us to do as the church. Now, as people who claim to be Christians or believers in Jesus, we are commanded by God to love Him with our whole person and to love others like Jesus does. Within these orders, we are to make disciples. We are to help them go public with baptism, and we are to train them to obey Jesus. That is our mission from God, to be a disciple and to multiply disciples. So, what is a disciple? Well, in John 15:14, Jesus tells his disciples, "You are my friends if you do what I command you." This means that our thoughts, feelings, and actions are being guided by God's definition of love. My choices in life are governed by a central question. How is this decision assisting disciple multiplication? Now, when that is the direction of your life, you are a friend of Jesus. Someone might say, what if I don't do what he commands me to do? Well, the implication here is that if we don't obey, we are not his friends. A true disciple will respond when Jesus gives orders. Because of that, a disciple is a friend of Jesus. Now, this relationship goes way deeper. In John 15, Jesus likens himself to a grapevine as he teaches his disciples. He says they are the branches attached to that vine. The disciples receive all the nutrients they need to be healthy and produce fruit, other disciples, but only if they stay connected to the vine that is Jesus. In verse 9 through 11, there's a powerful sequence of God's logic. It begins with, as the Father has loved me. How do we understand this analogy? The quality of love that God the Father has for God the Son is infinite. It's unchangeable. And it is so far beyond our soul's capacity to comprehend. So, for a minute, try to hold that idea of love in your mind. As the Father has loved me. Let's just say that the Father loves Jesus a whole bunch. Then Jesus says, so have I loved you. Are you kidding me? A simple matter-of-fact statement. As the Father has loved me, so I have loved you. Could that possibly be true? Now, much of the time when I focus on circumstances in myself and the pain in the world, I get distracted, enticed, and confused. It's difficult to believe that I'm loved by anyone, let alone that Jesus loves me like his Father loves him. Now, Jesus adds to this teaching. Imagine having a one-on-one conversation with him. Abide in my love. Remain in my love. Live in my love all the time. But Jesus, I just explained my struggle to believe and feel that you love me. And you're telling me to stay put in your responsiveness to my reality? How in the world am I going to accomplish that? Well, if you keep my commandments, you will abide in my love, just as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in his love. Oh, that again. Isn't there some other way? No, there's not. Just follow my example. I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in his love. Is it really that simple? Yes. Okay. I'll train to be your friend and do what you tell me to do. I'll do my best to stay connected to your love. Is there anything else? Yes. All right. What else? Well, these things I have spoken to you, that my joy may be in you, and that your joy may be full. So, Jesus, you've told me this so that your joy would be in me and fill me up? Yes. Amazing. I'm going to love being your disciple and friend. Yes, you will. Just remember, as the Father has loved me, so have I loved you. Abide in my love. To join our community and keep up to date, follow us at Play Story Eat on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Please like and comment on our posts to spread the word. Up next, a disciple is a follower of Jesus.